Hello, you beautiful people. So after the failed stream last week, I decided to replay the beginning so my subscribers didn't miss any of the story. While I was playing back through, I took images that I'd missed along the way, as well as some locations of those I had posted to Instagram. This gave me the idea of the theme of this video, which is how much difference changing your angles and subjects can make. For each clip, I'm going to talk you through the original image before showing you the clip of me taking the new shots. The first image is Joel exiting a train. What had initially attracted me to this shot was the colours in the doorway, its contrast against Joel's silhouette, and the spores near the ceiling. So I went for an upwards angle and framed Joel in the centre of the doorway. I also zoomed in to lessen the effect of the light coming in from the left so it didn't direct the eye away from Joel. So, can I get a better picture in this train? So he's got some better light on him, but not quite there. So we're going to go round him. We're going to zoom. Oh, well, we'll set this first to, I think, 50. We are going to zoom right out. I mean, I enjoyed the other picture. I thought that it had quite a good feel to it. So that dictates the image that I'm creating. So what I'm doing, and I'll remove all of this, or the menu and so on. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting Joel up as one of the brightest elements in it. I kind of like Ellie's face there actually, so I may slightly adjust it. But what I also want is the doorway behind Joel to act as a frame behind him as well. You've got the ceiling that's acting as a leading line, and I'll most likely crop it so that a lot of the bottom of the picture will be sacrificed rather than doing it sort of in the middle and balancing it. So I want more of the ceiling to act, as I say, as a leading line towards him, and together with the frame of the door. Now I just need to move slightly more across, so I don't want Ellie to be a distracting element, something on the edge of the screen which can be untidy, really. And it's something that one of the guys who watches me, and I'm not going to give away names, had said about keeping an eye on all of the image, taking notes of the edges, and it's something that I am very guilty of forgetting to do. So I get so absorbed in the picture that I want to take, or the subject to get the right angle to get the expression I want, or to change their, through your perspective, so the angle that you're looking at them, to get the best out of whatever expression they have, that I just forget about the edges. I mean, part of that is because I tend to crop, and I know a lot of people feel that you should be taking the best picture and not editing it. But for me, I feel that the best thing to do, take your picture or pictures, wait a day, go back to them, look at them properly with a fresh perspective. So you're not in your photographer mindset, you're in your editor mindset. And you can subjectively look at the image and go, okay, so these elements are crucial. They really help add the narrative or the story to your picture. However, I don't need, say, the light on the floor. I don't need as much as that. I don't need this I mean, not for this example, but if you look to the bottom of the screen, which is going to be the left of the image, you can just see the railing. And if I take that out, if I can, it would make it a cleaner image. So sort of like that. Now, the reason I'm not doing that, although I really like how that train's now a leading line to Joel, but the reason I'm not doing that is it acts as a really nice frame on Ellie. I'm now looking at the two elements, so the line on from the train leading on to Joel, and seeing if I can do that and use the frame of the two rails to emphasize Ellie, who looks rather forlorn. I don't like how close she is to the post, but I don't believe there's any other way of doing it without using that. And I feel that loses something because you don't want her too prominent in this image. Whereas something like that, maybe a bit higher, works, I think. So how that's differed from how I first set this up is that all that door frame is doing now is framing Joel's head. I still really enjoy the particles, and I feel that that gives far better context to the mask that he's wearing. I like how the light's playing on him as well. I mean, it's not doing the obvious thing of just on his face. I feel that the shirt really accentuates that light. It just works really well with it. Yes, his leg is a little bit blown out, but I don't feel that it's too much. And again, you would expect that with the very harsh light that's coming through. And for those of you who've been watching this whole stream or have played the game, I like how the watch is accentuated in this image. I'm going to increase the intensity, make sure, which I'm fairly confident I am, that I've got max details on Joel. Now I'm going to drop it back because all I want is the light coming through the back, so through the doorway, and to sort of make out the leading line going to the center of his head. And I feel that that makes a more interesting, it really creates a separation between him and the background. So again, I'm going to take a little look by hiding the menu, and I am happy with that. I am happy with Ellie, her expression, her position. So that is the first picture. What I was going for with this picture was the contrast between the message on the sign pointing towards Ellie and her innocent expression, which is why I didn't drop the blacks and recenter on her to make this a silhouette image. Now, I don't believe I can improve upon it. What I liked about it, here we are, was the dangerous combined with her facial expression. I really felt that it was a nice, strong contrast. So, how can I change that? I'm going to reset this tab. I'm going to zoom in as much as I can because I feel like I don't have enough movement. No, I genuinely do not believe I can improve upon it. I'm going to try this straight on. Going to drop down. Going to do the roll. So this is a wider crop, but that doesn't matter because I can zoom in. Again, you've got the leading lines. I'm going to accentuate those if it will allow me to. Should do. No. So what I was going to do is use the cross to accentuate it, but no, I'm going to use more of a framing technique. So I need to drop that down. I'm going to have it pointing at her eyes and see how that works. And that does kind of work. Again, little innocent little me. No, I'm not dangerous. Not at all, Gov. Don't know what you mean. So I rather like that. It's a very, very subtle change on the previous photo. I feel that there is better light on her. I don't know how that's happened, but I feel that there is. It's just slightly softer. I feel that that works really well. So I'm going to set that up. So depth of field, generally quite happy with, because if I go too far, really glad I did that. So now we know exactly where the focal point is. Not all of you guys will need to do this. As you can see, my eyes aren't what they used to be, and I may or may not have remembered to clean my glasses before going on stream. Again, I was playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So putting things on maximum intensity when you're doing depth of field, it just makes it easier to find it. So once you've got your point, you can just reduce it down. And again, I want dangerous to be clear. And what I'm trying to do, because that's very, very sharp, you've got a lot more particles in it, whereas if I bring it forward slightly, I mean the intensity up slightly, I want, there, it's just about to lose focus. I'm going to bring it back, so that is much, much clearer without too much pollen in it. I keep saying pollen, they're spores. Fungi have spores. So, one thing I forgot to do, remove film grain. So I'm just trying to tidy up the image. So I feel that it is quite clean. I just need to rotate that a little bit. But I don't want to lose too much of the framing, but as you can see, that little block, because I like that angle, but that block was too much, so I'm just cleaning it up. I like the post, and I'm most likely going to use that on the bottom third line, which is the right one. I removed fill grain because I prefer to have the option to apply it if I feel that the picture needs it in editing, but I don't feel that it needs it. So I'm going to remove this, take the picture. What first attracted me to this image was the bird circling the water tower. I framed the image so that the bird was on the top left intersection to make it the first thing you noticed, and then the tree line being the next thing you noticed leads the eye to the water tower.
Why don't you just take me back to Marlene?
If she was up to the task, why'd she drop you off on us?
Well, maybe she's better now.
Kid, I don't mean to upset you, but your friend's chances of survival weren't too high to begin with.
She's a lot tougher than you think.
It don't matter.
Just an experiment. Unfortunately, the what I was going for was the shadow more than anything else. I mean the reflection, like that. His reflection in the shadow works very, very well. To the point that I'm scared to adjust it even slightly because I don't want to lose that. And again, it's just one of those situations. I can crop it. So that is most likely what I'm going to do. Um, just to really make it easy on people to know what to look at. So, want it round about the feet, I think. Let's drop the intensity to round. So if you look at the log, you can slightly see it get a little bit darker as more detail comes into it. And that's the point where I want the image. I know there are rules that I should be adhering to in photography. Sort of like moving to the left a little bit. And I will do my best because now I've got two leading lines towards him. But I'm very conscious that I like the straight on his back, you know, the straight on angle on his back. And if I go any further to the left, I'm going to have to rotate round, strafe round a little bit. And I don't wish to do that. So this is the picture I'm going to take in this location. I liked how this picture depicted Joel coming out of the darkness and how the cashier sign emphasised how life has changed as a result of the pandemic. The benches on the right served as a leading line towards Joel, and a doorway on the opposite building worked as a frame for him. Actually down here. And I really liked the light, and I liked the cashier part of it. I'm going to try running down here and see what happens. Come on. Zoom out. Further, further. Oh yeah, that's 50 I think it's meant to be. So what I'd originally wanted was what I was trying to do is have the cashier but in there, but also use these benches and everything as a leading line to Joel. Now I've placed him on the right hand side and I'm starting to think, because that's what I did last time, it'd be better to actually have him more central. So having him here means that I was able to use the door as a frame for him because it's much darker image. Do I feel that the running is important? Yeah, I don't know if that works. Let's just pop that on there. Increase the intensity so that the door remains a blur, so it's just doing its function of framing him. And that gives me a better understanding about the running. Because of course there's nothing he's running from. So I don't know if it's actually a worthwhile thing to have in there. So using the cashier to frame him, the sign that is, to frame him is moderately interesting. And again, you don't really need to, because you can't see where he's run from. But what I actually feel this picture needs... Sorry, Ellie. I need you out of this shot. I need him on that central beam. So about here. And then we start all that dance again. And I've got it wrong. Oh no! Oh, that's frustrating. You've seen now. So it looks like there, so it's probably here. Oh, yes. While he's rubbing his beard. That's a good expression. He's more central under there, so I'm happy with that. Actually, oh. I rather like that everything's dark and you've got a small square where Joel is in. It doesn't matter about the doorway or anything. It's all like slightly out of focus, so that works quite well. Before I go, I'd like to show you some of the other comparison shots as well as some new images that I captured during my replay. Being a video about composition, I've kept my editing to a minimum so you can see how I find and compose my shots on stream. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe to help get this video to others who may find it useful. I stream every Friday at 8 PM GMT, so you're more than welcome to join me. And remember, we say goodbye so we can say hello again. Goodbye.